So you want to learn how to make ulu cinnamon rolls? Well, you've come to the right place, but first, a message from our sponsors. Have you suffered from carpal tunnel from scrolling through a 500-page food blogger's autobiography when all you wanted was a list of ingredients? If so, you may be entitled to compensation.
Where is the recipe?
Just kidding, the only message we have from sponsors is to hit a meeting. So let's get started. This is a testicular tree potato called breadfruit or ulu, and this is what we're going to turn into cinnamon rolls. Ulu vary a ton depending on age. When they're young, they're tough and rubbery like little toddlers. When they're old, they're as soft as the Jello brand pudding cups that they serve at a nursing home. But for this recipe, we're going to need middle-aged, so sappy but firm, like the parents of a 25-year-old millennial. Look, honey, we love you. You are our world. With that said, you and all of your participation trophies need to move the fuck out of our house. First, we're gonna cut a little off the top and bake it for 45 minutes. You're also gonna need gluten-free flour, yeast, baking powder, salt, coconut oil, cinnamon, and sugar. What kind of sugar, you ask? Great question. You can use cane sugar, date sugar, coconut sugar, but definitely do not use monk fruit. Monka, that's for Buddhist and Hawaiian seals, not the product of anonymous unprotected plant sex. But my issue lay not with nomenclature. It's mostly that monk fruit tastes like how I imagine a cocktail from Bill Cosby would taste. Okay, so my ulu just baked for 45 minutes. If you have committed a crime but didn't do the time, this would be a great opportunity for you to burn those fingerprints right off. We're just gonna peel it like this. Okay, so we're gonna pour our 5 cups of ulu into the food processor with 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of yeast that I mixed with like a tablespoon of warm water earlier to proof, and a pinch of salt. I'm gonna sprinkle in a little bit of oat flour, and I might need to add a little bit of hot water. That's one thing I actually really like about ulu. It's inconsistent and kind of temperamental, so it requires a little bit more attention and skill. Some varieties are harder, some are softer, some are bigger, some say it was cold out. If we were making cinnamon rolls with regular flour, it's never gonna surprise you. You're not gonna find a bag that's holding a dead bass in its profile picture, but still does that thing you like. Traditional baking could be done by a robot, but these need to be made by an artist. When I put these cinnamon rolls in the oven, am I gonna set a timer? No. Am I gonna ask my ancestors to let me know when they're done? Yes, obviously. And you might need to ask your ancestors if you need to get a little more hot water to get a good ass dough ball going. All right, now that is a good ass dough ball. Okay, so while it's still warm, we're gonna roll it out on the cutting board. If you don't have a rolling pin, you can use a bottle of wine. If you don't have a bottle of wine, okay. But if you really don't have a bottle of wine, you can use a round jar of any kind, a shovel, a piece of PVC pipe, a baseball bat. I don't know what kind of shit you're into. I'm not your sponsor. Get creative. You are an artist and you've got this. Okay, now that we've got our rectangle, we're gonna put some coconut oil on there and then a mixture of 2 teaspoons of cinnamon and 3 tablespoons of anything but monk fruit. And now we're gonna roll it up. All right, so to cut it, we're actually not gonna use our knife here. We are going to use dental floss. If you don't have dental floss, you can use this opportunity to think about how you got some nasty ass teeth, just like Captain Bligh after he got himself mutineered off the Bounty. But for those of us who have dental floss, you're just gonna cut them like this. Boop. And then put them in a well-oiled baking pan and then set them somewhere warm to rise. They're not gonna rise as much as regular bread would or as much as the price of regular bread already has, but they're gonna rise a little bit. Now let's bake them for 20 minutes or however long your ancestors tell you to. I made some magnet cream cheese frosting, which I'll have to show you in a different video, but let's try it. Oh, it's so good.